morning. Welcome back to Coffee with Casper. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the feedback that you guys have all been giving me. I'm glad that you guys are all extremely excited about the series. This is Scout. He is one of the other dogs that I have, and I've mentioned him in the other videos. So today what we're going to work on is the stay position. Go ahead and grab your coffee, and if you want, grab your pup, and we'll start talking about why we mess up stay. So, like most other commands, we always have something that we do that doesn't correlate to how the dog understands it, and that's really why all these commands aren't getting across to the dog. So for stay, most people, when they start teaching the stay command, they teach it so that the stay means stay here until I call you. And that's always the answer that I get at all of my classes is stay here until I call you. And that is not how we want to start training the dog. So, again, we're not going to work on how to train the stay, but we do want to work on the mentality behind the stay. So, if I tell him to come to me every single time that I'm working on a stay, his first instinct is get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, go. And I don't want him always thinking that he has to come to me. As a matter of fact, that's the last thing I want him thinking about when he has to come to me or in a stay. So if I'm telling him to stay for a reason, I'm telling him to remain in this position. Positional commands, we talked about that the other week. So if we're here and it's Scout stay, I'm telling him to remain in a down position until I return. So that means I'm going to leave you and then I'm going to come back to you. When I come back to you, I'm going to come back to that exact same position that I left you in. And when I get back to that exact same position, that's when it's going to become good boy, and he knows that I'm done and he's going to get paid. So if I tell him to stay and then I walk away and I'm always calling him to me, he's going to be looking and itching for that time to leave. Well, if he leaves and he breaks that position and gets up and comes to me and I don't correct the position, then all of a sudden now he's getting rewarded for coming to me. This is where the biggest problem comes in, is all of a sudden now I've got a dog that's getting rewarded for breaking position. If I have a dog that's being rewarded for breaking the position, they're going to do it every single time because I'm actually paying them for doing a bad thing. So, to give you an example here, if I have Scout that comes on over here, Scout, come. Good boy. Front. Good boy. Down. Good boy. Stay. So, we brought him over, called him to position, I called him to a front position, and then I tell him to lay down. So now he's down and he's in a stay. So if I walk away and as I'm walking away he breaks position and comes to me and I don't give a correction and I'm just going, dang it, and we have to redo everything, well, he got rewarded because he got to come to me, all right? Because now he's back with dad. So this is where when we get frustrated and we're in training purposes, now all of a sudden we're going back and forth with our dog because we tried to do a stay, the dog broke the stay, I have to redo the stay, and we're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and we're not making any progress. But in the reality of the dog is the dog is sitting here going, I get rewarded if I leave this position to come to you because I get to be with you. So we don't want the dog to get rewarded for coming to us at all. So to finish this, I would just come back to my dog and pay on site. Good boy. All right? So every single time now that I want to reward my dog in the stay position, I'm going to go back to them at that position, and then I'm going to call the good boy at whatever position I left them in. All right? I always want to end it in perfect position. If I can end in perfect position, he understands again that we're back to that consistency that we talked about for the down position. So if I work the down position in perfect position, if I work the sit position in perfect position, and I never stray from that. I'm not going to reward from here for a down. I would step perfectly into position. So if I'm working my stays and he breaks position, now I have to look at the correction of the break, and then I have to look at the heavily rewarding of the stay. So now we get into the balance of training. When we start looking at the balance, we have to have the levels make sure that they adjust properly. You cannot be too heavy-handed with your dog. You cannot be too heavy with your dog. When we start getting into corrections, some people take it way too far, and it really does not have to be heavy. All right? We utilize the martingale collars very, very heavily here. So to think about, Scott, stay. Good boy, stay. This is a handmade collar. I actually made this one myself. So this is a leather martingale collar that I created, and it was just made out of leftover leather scraps. But we have these. We've got. We're actually going to make some out of biothane and see how that one holds up. But the martingale collar is our best friend, and then it's a leash collar correction. So if I'm going to work the stay position, I would never train a stay position without a leash and a collar. I'm not going to use much more than just a leash and a collar because that's all I need. But if he tries to break position, now I have the ability to come back, grab a leash, give a correction, put him back where I wanted him, where he was supposed to be too. Like I wouldn't let him come to me, give a correction, and then do it here. I'm going to make him go back exactly where I had him in the beginning. Because again, he broke the position at that position. All right, so positional commands, when we start talking about in the very beginning, they correlate to every command that we talk about. So when we start going through every single command that we're going to look at, if we go through from the sit, if we go from the down, it doesn't matter. The position itself, it still remains the exact same. I want to start from here for my stay, and I want to end here in my stay. Now, eventually we'll get to a point when we can call the dog. But from there, and you've already noticed it, I have called him from the stays before. But when we're starting to train it, we never want to call the dog from the stay. It gets very confusing. Stay here, don't move, don't change position. Okay, now come to me. And the dog's going to be like, wait, hold on, you just told me not to move. But now you want me to come to you. So now there's that hesitation. If you've been correcting the dog for moving, for breaking that position, and now you're calling them, the dog's torn between which one to do. So we want to make sure that when we teach the stay, we teach the stay. When we teach the come or the recall commands, whichever your recalls are going to be, we want to make sure that those are completely separated from our stay commands so that the dog doesn't sit there and go, well, I'm not supposed to move, I'm not supposed to move, I'm not supposed to move. I have to come. Because when we teach those come commands, we want to make sure that that dog returns back to you 100% of the time. And you can only get that if you don't have a dog that's not confused. Make sure I said that right. You cannot have a dog that's confused if you want them to come back to you 100% of the time. And that's what we guarantee. Not many people can sit there and guarantee that your dog's going to recall back 100% of the time. But you can teach it. It's absolutely teachable. All right? And the thing about it is, if you don't have a leash and you don't have a collar on your dog, you cannot teach that to condition it to your dog. All right? And same concept applies for pretty much everybody out there. You are all taught, you are all conditioned with your cell phones. Your phone rings, you're going to reach for it. All right? You're all conditioned. So if you don't think you can be conditioned, you're wrong. Dogs are very similar. Dogs are very easy to work with. Dogs are very motivated. Dogs are very excited to do stuff, especially when a motivator comes into play. So whether that motivator is a treat or A motivator, nope, stay, is a tennis ball. He would love a tennis ball. So, your dog always has a motivator that's going to drive them. It might be ice cubes. It might be a squirt bottle. I've trained dogs for both, or with both. It might be food. It might be a toy. It doesn't matter what your dog's motivator is. If they want it, it's a lure, and you can use it to train. And that's the other aspect of this. Scout front. So, whatever you use as a reward system is up to you. He will take treats. He will take a ball. We've used both to train with. All right? Scout, bring. Good boy. Now, funny thing is, as obsessive as he is over a ball, he will still take the treat over a ball any day of the week. But I know he loves his ball, so we use his ball to play with and we use his ball to train. So don't think that you're only limited to a treat or only limited to a ball. Down. Good boy. So every single thing that we do has the ability, if I don't want him working on a ball, down. Good boy. Stay. I can utilize a treat because now I don't want him chomping on a tennis ball. But if I wanted him to be able to sit there and chew on a tennis ball, I can give him the tennis ball. If I want him to chase something for a second and come back and bring it back to me, I can use that. Works great for certain situations, right? So your style of training that you are going to determine, that you're going to create for your dog, every one of these things is personalized. And I like the fact that you guys can personalize your training to your dog. And that's what makes all dog training unique. There's no set thing that says, this is how you train a dog. There's so many different changes out there that you get to create for your own individual dog. And nobody can tell you that that's wrong because there's a billion different ways to do it. All right? So, looking at this, I hope that you kind of been able to take a couple things away from it. There's definitely some issues that we run into, especially while we're out on the platform training, that the amount of people that will call their dog from a stay, especially right as they're starting to train it, and then they can't figure out why they don't have a good stay. Now, this is one of the biggest reasons is they call their dogs from that stay position, or they'll reward their dog anywhere that they want instead of coming back and reassuring the dog that, you know, this is where I want to be at. This is where I want you to be at. And these are free training spots that you guys can reward at. So it's very, very simple training pieces, but it's always constant reminders that if we come back to perfect position, the dog will come back to perfect position because it's all one piece. It's all one package. So we always want to make sure that every single part of the things that we're doing makes sense to the dog as well. All right? So what does stay mean? Stay means you remain in position until I return to you. All right? And then if we have to shape it from there to a, I can't get back to you, I need you to come to me, we'll shape that later, okay? So I hope this works for you guys. Enjoy your coffee today. Teach your dog something new today. I'll see you guys next time for the next episode. All right?
Hey guys, make sure you subscribe to the videos by clicking that little dog holding the leash. Also, check out all the other videos that we have. Make sure you guys leave some comments on there and let us know what you like about the videos and also what else you guys want to see us do videos on. It really helps us be able to know what to continue doing videos for. We do have a lot more videos saved up, ready to go and get posted up. So just be aware that we do have more videos that are coming down the line. Also, again, keep training your dogs. Never think that your dogs are done. They always do need more training. Until next time, we look forward to seeing you guys up here and seeing you guys continue to watch the videos. So we do this for you, and we will continue doing it for you. Until next time, we'll see you again.